Hi, I'm C.R. McLeod, Director of Community Relations for DelDOT. Thank you so much for joining us to hear an update about the upcoming project to replace the bridges on Route 13 southbound over Blackbird Creek, the bridges 488 as DelDOT refers to them by. We wanted to make sure that everyone has a good overview and understanding of why this project is needed and what the impacts will be while it's taking place in September and October. And joining me today is Matt Goins. Matt is a project manager with DelDOT, been with the department now for 9 years, managing projects large and small across the state. Matt is the point person on this project, and we thought it would just be helpful to provide a brief video overview of the project that hopefully addresses any concerns, questions you may have. Also, just want to let you know that we are going to be having an in-person meeting session next week, Wednesday, August 27th, about this project at the Appaquiddick Training Center in Odessa. I've dropped the link there to the public meeting link. If you can see that in the chat, you can click on that and that will provide you with the information. But we are going to do an in-person session about this project as well, if you're interested in coming out. But again, knowing everyone's busy, thought a brief video walking through it might be helpful as well. So Matt, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to provide everyone with an overview of this project.
Absolutely. Thank you, CR, for having me.
Yeah, sure. So first and foremost, just to give everybody a sense of what we're talking about here, those that are local in the area, I think know exactly where this bridge is. There's already been activity happening alongside the bridges, getting ready for this project. So I'm going to share my screen here and just show a map. So you'll see these two orange dots representing where the bridges are on Route 13. So these are really old bridges, to put it bluntly. The northbound bridge here was built in 1933, and the southbound bridge was built in 1920. So we have one bridge over 100 years old and another bridge approaching 100 years old. If you were to stop out there and look at these bridges, I think it'd be pretty apparent that it is time for them not just to be repaired, but fully replaced. So just to give you an idea, this is just north of Blackbird Forest Road. If you're looking here on the map, you'll see State Route 1 over here to the right. So again, this is just the area, just to give everyone a general sense of where this project area is. So Matt, first and foremost, I mentioned the bridges, their age. Can you walk us through the need for this project?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, the bridges are very old, and it is time that they be replaced. They have some of the poorest conditions on these two bridges throughout the entire state. And so our goal is, we're going to do full replacements, hopefully, to build bridges that will last another 100 years.
Right.
And so going through the process on how we're going to do this, so we're gonna close down both north and southbound lanes, and the contractor is going to come in. He's going to demolish both bridges, and in doing so, he's gonna raise the road. Reason being, there's really poor sight lines out there right now. The road dips way down, and it's hard to see what's coming at you on the other side. So our goal is to raise that road approximately 8 feet, to improve those conditions. And then contractors going to start building the new bridge, and that process will be accelerated because we're using a lot of precast elements. So realistically, everything's already made or is on it being made, and will be shipped down to the site. And at that point, the contractor just has to assemble the new bridge in its new spot. So once the bridge is completed, they'll restore the stream to its original condition, and then we will reopen the road to the public. And doing, like I said, doing the accelerated bridge, it limits the amount of time that we have to close the road, and limits the impact on the people as quickly, and we get it opened as quickly as possible.
Right. So it's a very aggressive timeline, 45 days to essentially demolish and replace two bridges. That is not a long amount of time in the construction world. We have a lot of projects that take years to complete. The fact that we're going to be able to do these two bridges in 45 days is really a testament to the project plan that the DelDOT team and the contractor have put in place. So it is going to be very busy out there. Again, already activity happening, but once these roadways close, they're going to be working very aggressively to complete this project in that timeline. So again, that's thanks for the overview of that. And again, I think everyone can understand they're old bridges and their time has come to be replaced. I think raising those bridges is also going to have a significant safety impact as well. And then also having the higher bridge over a waterway can also help mitigate any flooding concerns should that arise. So again, that's just the very basic overview of why the project's needed, what's going to be happening over this 45-day period. Matt, can you tell us when the project's going to get started?
Yeah, so we are going to close the northbound side, or the northbound bridge first.
Correct.
And that'll be closed on September 8th.
Okay.
The Monday, September 8th, and then the southbound bridge will be closed on Monday, September 15th.
Okay, so again, a couple weeks away here, and for those that travel Route 13 on a regular basis, if you're coming north on Route 13 and here and you pass under Route 1, really the dead end point for trying to go north is going to be here at Blackbird Forest Road. If you look at the cursor on the screen of the map, that will be the furthest point that you'll be able to go north. You'll be able to turn left onto Blackbird Forest Road, but Route 13 northbound will be closed. Obviously, there will still be access for the local residents in this area who need to get to their homes, but for all other traffic, you'll either need to make a U-turn or go to Blackbird Forest. I'm going to scroll up here for southbound traffic. Again, beginning Monday, September 15th, the closure point of Route 13 is going to be at the juncture with Summit Bridge Road, Route 71. There's a gas station here as well. For those that are trying to just go south, this will be the point where you'll either have to make a U-turn onto 13 northbound or make a right onto Summit Bridge. We do have businesses and residences down here. They'll still be accessible for local traffic, but for all others, you'll need to use a detour route. So that really leads us to the next part of our discussion here is how are people going to get around while this work is taking place. So the project team, everyone really looked at during the planning phase of this project, how do we ensure that people can still move around while this project is taking place? And thankfully we are in close proximity here to Route 1, and that's really going to be the best alternative for anyone that's just traveling using Route 13 for north and south travel. That's really going to be their best alternative. So I'll scroll down here, and what we'll do is we'll approach it from, if you're going northbound first on Route 13. So as we scroll down here, just to give you a reference point, if you're traveling on Route 13 northbound today, right here is the Smyrna Rest area. And you'll continue traveling north on 13 under Route 1, and you'll come to an intersection, and you can actually make a left-hand turn to access Route 1 northbound at this point. No toll here. So that's an important part that we want to make sure that people understand. There is no toll northbound or southbound for this detour route to access Route 1. So you'll be able to make a left here. You'll get onto Route 1 northbound, and you'll bypass the closed section of roadway where the project is taking place. So you'll be traveling north on Route 1. When you get to this section here, you'll off to the left is actually where the closure point will be of Route 13. You'll just continue past that on Route 1 northbound. And what you'll do is when we get north, you'll take exit 136 at Odessa Middletown. So when you're coming north here, right here is this ramp. You'll take, again, no toll. You'll jump off here at exit 136, and you can make a right onto Route 299, which takes you into Odessa. And at that point, if you're trying to get to a point south, you'll just jump back on 13 southbound here. Or if you're trying to get back onto 13 northbound, you can make a left in Odessa to access 13 northbound. So again, we believe for the majority of traffic, this is going to be the best alternate route for getting around the closure, traveling northbound on a daily basis. About 10,000 cars use Route 13 in that area where we're going to have the closure. So just to give you an idea of how many vehicles we expect are going to be needing an alternate route, that's why we think Route 1 is going to be the best. Just briefly, I'll walk everyone through the southbound detour. So again, starting here in Odessa, if you live if you're live on 13 and or have a business and you're needing to go south, or if you're traveling south on 13, again, you're going to want to use Main Street, Route 299 to get to Route 1. So you'll travel here along 299 until you get to the interchange with Route 1, and you'll take the southbound ramp. Again, no toll here. You'll get onto the ramp at southbound Route 1 and just travel on back down the roadway here. You'll take Route 1 south, and just as I scroll, traveling just until we get to North Smyrna again. So once we get here to North Smyrna, depending on your destination is going to dictate which exit you're going to want to take. So as you get into Smyrna, you can either take the first exit, which is 119A, highlighted here with my cursor. That will drop you right onto the to Route 13 southbound, and you can continue on into Smyrna. If you're trying to get back to north on 13 here, you'll take 119B. So you'll just travel a little bit further south and take the ramp here, which is just again just north of the Smyrna rest area. There's an intersection here. You can jump back on 13 and continue north. So again, just wanted to walk through what those detour routes look like for anyone traveling during this period where Route 13 is closed. There's no tolls. So again, we've heard some concerns about, well, I'm going to be forced to pay the toll. If you use the roadway just as we've just presented, there is no toll for going north or south through this area. So again, locals, there are local roads if you go further east, further west that we understand residents may use, but for those that are just trying to travel through this area or reach local businesses, Route 1 is going to be your best bet, and that's the detour that we're going to recommend. So again, hopefully that provides you some insight into how to get around during this. One of the other issues we wanted to address during this closure is school starting up, Matt. Also, first, one of the things that we're always thinking about with any type of road construction or closure, the impact on emergency services. Could you just offer some insight into the conversations that we've been having and how we plan to make sure that emergency services and the school buses that run in this area are going to be able to continue to provide their services during this closure?
Yeah. So knowing that we were going to impact the surrounding communities significantly with this closure, there's been a lot of steps to be proactive with the school districts and the first responders to make sure that everybody can still provide services. So we met with the school district, Appoquinimink School District, to ensure that they still have bus routes in this area, so they can accommodate pickups and drop-offs during our closure periods. And we've also had numerous conversations with local fire companies and other first responder agencies to ensure that they can still provide adequate or first-class service to their communities. So super important to us that we make sure that we continue to work with those groups and address any concerns they have throughout the process, so that the surrounding community benefits from that.
Absolutely. So again, the school district, our first responders, they all have the contacts within DelDOT. If any issues are coming up, we'll be working with them to address them, but they all have plans in place. They're aware of the need for this project, why we have to undertake it. Matt, speaking, one of the questions that we've heard, again, because of just impacts to, buses or commuters or first responders. Why didn't we consider doing what we call contraflow, where we would close one side of the roadway, rebuild that bridge first, and allow traffic still, again, just to move across that roadway. Can you speak to why we didn't consider either, well, we'll just do one bridge at a time, or we'll do contraflow? What were the benefits of doing a full closure of both at the same time?
So there's two reasons that come to mind. The first being, again, as I said earlier, we're going to raise the road 8 feet, and in doing so, there's not a good way to build one side of the road 8 feet higher and keep the other one active. So our best bet was to close both at the same time, and by closing both at the same time, it allows us to accelerate our time frame. There's more room for us to work. We don't have to worry about keeping traffic safe while working right next to us. So we're able to work faster, limiting the amount of time we're out there. It doesn't drag the project out longer and longer than it needs to be. So the goal is to get in, build two new bridges, and get out as quickly and as safely as possible.
Yep, no, that makes sense. Again, it really increases the amount of time needed if we tried to implement any other method of doing this. And just again, with the 45 days and the as you talked about, the prefabrication of it really is just the fastest way to get this done. Can you also talk about the timing? Again, we're always trying to thread the needle about there's never a good time to do construction on a major road anywhere in our state. We've got major projects going on 95 right now in the summer. We've got projects happening down near the beach areas, which we know gets very congested in the summer months. Unfortunately, we can't just do projects for a couple of months at a time. It'd be great if we could, but we're always trying to figure out when's the best time to do something. Why this time frame? Why did we say, you know what, we need to do this project in September and October?
Yep. So as you kind of mentioned, there's a lot of traffic that moves south through the state, a lot of people going down toward the beach areas. So being cognizant of that, realizing that we don't want to impact, the businesses that are even further south of this project, we didn't want to start this project in prime beach season. So we held off until after Labor Day. And then also with our environmental permitting processes, there's a time of year restriction that we were not allowed to work in the waterway underneath of these bridges on Blackbird Creek.
Okay.
So we had to wait until those restrictions had been lifted so that we can then not impact fish or the migratory birds. And so this is the time frame that allows us to hit both of those, the traffic and the environmental species that we don't want to impact as well.
Sure. That makes sense. Again, we have to follow, there's a lot of regulations when we are working in and around waterways, and we have to abide by those regulations. So again, just addressing some of the concerns we heard about. Well, it would have been great if you did it in the summer and it wouldn't impact school, people taking kids to and from school, etc. We agree, but we also have to, work within what the regulations and guidelines say. So, really appreciate you taking the time to give us this overview, Matt. Again, as I mentioned at the top, we are going to be having a in-person session next week. I am going to pull this up on my screen here. Hopefully you can see the chat, but on my screen, I've just pulled up. This is on the Delaware Public Meeting Calendar webpage. I do have a link there in the chat if you're able to access it. So next Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m., August 27th, it's called formally the Marion Prophet Training Center. It's actually the Appoquinimink School District offices there in Odessa at 118 South 6th Street. So we will have members of our project team there available to really give an overview of what's going to be happening, just as we've done here over the past few minutes, address any concerns you may have. Just want to make sure that everyone's aware of what's going to be happening here over the course of September and October as we work to get this project done. So again, you can find that information on the Delaware Meeting Calendar website. If you have any questions, you can email them to us, and Matt and I and others will be happy to address them, dotpublic@delaware.gov, or call us at 302-760-2030. 2080. And again, we want to make sure that everyone's aware. We'll be pushing information out on social media about this here. I'll be out there doing a Facebook Live, Matt, just before the first closure happens on September 8th, reminding everyone, and I'll do the same again on September 15th, just so we know everybody's busy and you're going to wake up and be like, oh, that's right, the road closed. So want to make sure that everyone has that detour in mind, and that it's going to add a few extra minutes to their travels during this time period that the construction is in fact happening. So with that, the last thing I'll just share, and again, we walked through it earlier, but just wanted to share a graphic, and we'll be sharing this on our webpage, on our social media pages as well, is just an overview of the detours. So again, this will be available on social media. We'll also add it to the project page. Again, just showing what we walked through a few minutes ago about where you'll be getting on and off of Route 1 without paying the tolls to get around this closure during the month of September and October. So with that, Matt, any other comments or things that we might have missed before we wrap up?
No, I think we covered all of it. I think, the team has been very proactive, and we're looking forward to a very successful construction.
Well, thanks so much for taking time to inform everyone about what's going to be happening, and we certainly want everything to go smoothly, and let's hope for good weather. Weather can always can impact our project schedules. Let's hope that that's not the case here, and that we're able to get these bridges done and reopened, and again, it'll be in the rearview mirror before we know it. All right. So thanks again, everyone, for your time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us or join us next week for the public information session. So with that, thanks again, everyone. Have a great day. Drive safely. Be well.